What up, boys? We here with another edition of Golf Wars featuring my man, Mitch Snyder, and Third and Schlong, Bryce. How we doing the week after the Fantasy Golf World Championship, where I came in an okay ninth place out of 50? Got Kurt Kitayama with the W, helped me out. Had a good time. Did a lot of interviews with our partner DraftKings. They were running the shit out of my interviews on Instagram. But how you doing?
You can go, Bryce. I'm doing all right. A lot better now than I was this morning, but yeah, looking forward to diving into this. We got another interesting event where I don't think there's much separating a lot of these guys from each other. The odds are kind of indicative to that, as well, as we don't have a winner. We don't have an outright favorite lower than 20-1 this week, which is pretty rare, but interested to dive into this with you guys.
Bryce?
Got my least favorite week of the year here, but I feel like it's a great tournament week. I like it more than I normally do. I just never seem to do well at this course. So hopefully our luck can change this year. Ninth was pretty impressive with a 4 out of 6. I mean, really the only way you get that is the winner. And Thorpe had what? Like negative DraftKings points almost the first round at least.
My only guy when I got on my flight was +7. And I was like, okay, I'm fucked, but this will be fun. Then ended up in ninth.
At least you showed up. That's what matters.
Exactly.
You didn't pull out EM2.
Yeah, we had a great time. The first time I had spent a significant amount of time in the city of Minneapolis, and I enjoyed it very much. Much more than I thought I would. I would highly recommend going to that.
You could probably spend what, 3 months of the year there. Your southern ass, you cannot handle Minneapolis winter.
Around the hotel, and I would imagine they did this on purpose. There were like 15 strip clubs within like 2 blocks of the hotel. So they did a pretty good job of putting us in the right spot. And the tournament hospitality was good. The shuttle, like, it was the first time at a tournament where the shuttle had literally brought us like right up to where the suite was on 18. Like, we had to walk like 2 feet, which was amazing. That has never happened to me before. So that was great. Other than that, fun weekend. I did pretty terrible on the main slate. My main team just got, I think that the chalk busted so hard that the fact that I had Kitayama kind of just carried me in the final itself when not many people had him. An interesting one was the final swung on that Akshay birdie putt on 18. That cost the guy that was sitting next to me $500,000. 16-footer when the guy hasn't made shit all day. Yeah,
it's not a fun one to see go down.
That really happened.
Well, I mean, you've been there for some big putts. I think your best one was probably Spawn at the U.S. Open.
Spawn at the U.S. Open, the 60-footer was like 100,000 swing.
That's kind of hard to top, just because it was so far in the stage is so big.
And he doesn't need to make it.
No, he just needs to 2-putt it, which is easier said than done. But that's one way to 2-putt.
It was, it was interesting because when Kitayama was sitting in the fairway, he's up 1, and he's in the fairway, but he's in like go zone, right? And the stones, Sam Stevens laid up from the go zone before him, and like I was like, this is bitch behavior. Like, what the fuck? And then Kitayama in the go zone nutted up and just whacked it over the green, and I'm like, okay, this guy he deserved to win for that. Like, dude, don't pull that bullshit. Like, Stevens didn't even know he was down 1. He probably thought he was down 2, and he was down 2, I think, because Kitayama made bogey on 17, and Stevens still laid up. I was like, that is horrible playing for second. I hate that.
Is he in the FedEx Cup already?
I would assume so, but he doesn't have a win, so it's like he doesn't have like exemptions and shit.
Yeah.
So
I mean, getting the win is just so
important.
Oh, Sam Stevens is high up in the FedEx Cup compared to where I thought he was. Yeah, I mean, dude, getting a win on the tour is everything. It's like if you win, you're kind of set for life. So at that point, if you put yourself in a position to do it, like
right, like our boy that's playing this week, Jimmy Herman.
I messaged you earlier in the day, and I was like, "Wait, why is Jim Herman in this field? Like Trump getting him an exemption or something? Is he like a good old Southern boy here in Greensboro, North Carolina?
Trump funded his whole career. No,
yeah.
he has to have won this tournament before.
I think he won. Is this the one that he won where he was up in the press box just sweating bullets, chugging water at one time?
I'm about to look.
It has to be.
WYNDHAM Championship he won in 2020.
Yeah, I think I remember that. Yeah, he was sweating bullets up in the press box, just chugging water.
You think it was water.
I could see him. Dude, isn't he? I don't think he like drinks.
He probably doesn't.
I could just be saying that. But whatever. I'm not playing Jim Herman this week. I don't think it's you can convince me to pretty much play anyone in this field. Jim Herman is not one of those golfers.
I was gonna say you could talk me into like 90% of the field this week.
Yeah. It's like he has a pull. It's like Snyder will pull out some random dudes that you're about to hear, and I'll be like, all right, click him in 5-10%.
Just waiting, but we're about to pull out the best one, which is Benjamin Netanyahu Silverman.
Oh.
Yeah. Get ready for that. Well, all right. We'll start at the top range, the 10K plus. Fitz, Keegan, and Ben Griffin. Snyder. I know I have a clear pecking order here. How do you feel about it?
Yeah, I think I'm probably with you. I think Fitzpatrick's definitely on top for me with these three 10K guys. It's going to be Fitzpatrick up top for me. Just great recent form, 3 straight top 10s, has a great short game, has been good. Pretty much just set up really well for here. Hasn't played this event in least the last 5 years. Yeah, he's only played this event once back in 2018. He finished top 40 then, but yeah, I like him here this week. I'm going to be off Keegan. I think he's running out of steam. I think 10-3 is pretty crazy price tag for him with some other guys in this field that I like much better, cheaper than him. So I'll be off Keegan. And then Ben Griffin, he makes a lot of sense and everything. Has pretty good odds. Not as good as a couple other guys, but I'll probably field Ben Griffin. I think he's going to catch quite a bit of ownership. I could see Ben Griffin actually coming in higher owned than Fitzpatrick potentially. I think they'll be really close, like in that close to 25% range. But I'll probably be around field on Griffin, over on Fitzpatrick, and fading Keegan.
Bryce?
I pretty much have the same thoughts up top. If I was playing 10 teams, I'd have Keegan in one of them. Or just a flat fade. I think he's the worst play up here. Agreed with that. Fitz, I want to be over on. I like him more than Ben Griffin here. I do think that Griffin steams here. So I kind of think their ownerships are going to be inverted as to like what the industry has them projected at. Yeah, I would rank it Fitz, Griffin, Keegan.
I have Ben Griffin at the top, just based on a price standpoint. I don't think it's that much of a difference between him and Fitzpatrick, him being $500 cheaper. You also don't really need the salary, so I understand the logic behind going Fitzpatrick instead, or playing both, which could be favorable. But Keegan is for sure the bottom here, and I just if some of these, like I'm seeing some action behind Keegan where people are wanting to play him, and I just don't see it like at all, like how you would logically play Keegan over Ben Griffin or Fitzpatrick here. So he's definitely at the bottom, and I'm playing him like 10% or less in big stakes. We'll go to the next range since that one was pretty cut and dry. I think this one we cut it off at Si Woo. so Hideki 9,800 down to Siwoo 8,700. I think is where we should cut this one off. Bryce, who do you like in this range? I know there's one play that is like very obvious, but beyond that, what do you like?
I think this whole range is extremely strong. I like it a lot more than like I think the drop off from Siwoo down is like pretty substantial. Like I don't really like Adam Scott or Ricky Fowler, like not to get out of the range, but I think there's a pretty big cutoff at Siwoo. So I like how you group that there. I mean, the obvious play here is what, Rye? I think he's pretty clearly the best play here. It's just kind of an ownership game with him at this point. I'm likely going to be high 20s. Maybe
I think that'll be
maybe 30. Yeah, I think he's going to be the highest owned player in this field, especially in higher stakes stuff. Just a pretty easy click. I mean, he has great course history here, obviously. I mean, his game is really built for places like this, and I think he's like point per dollar, like the safest play of the week. Like him and Bezadenhout at 7-2 would be like the first two guys I would click into a cash team. So I just kind of think they would be like the highest owned guys. Guys I like above the field here, Hideki Matsuyama, 15%. I want to buy on him, and I think he steams under that. I would take the under on 15% Hideki ownership. Lucas Glover, I think he comes in 15 to 20% here. I kind of want to be over on that. I like him a good amount here. Siwoo, I always like to be over on at courses like this. I think like mid to high 20s on him as well. Bobby Mack will be popular. I like him a decent amount. Spieth, I sell pretty much every week, so I'm not like flat fading him. But I think if I was to kick two players out of the pool up top here, it would be Spieth and Keegan for me. And then I think Akshay is a play again. I don't think there's any reason not to like him, and I think he's going to be way lower owned than he was last week. So yeah. Who else didn't I mention? Knapp and Harry Hall, I think are decent plays at 10%, to be honest. I kind of like this range as a whole. And then Kitayama coming off his win. Normally see people just like not play guys like that. So, I mean, Kitayama could definitely go back to back in this field. Not a lot of guys I want to flat fade here that do have win equity. So I'll probably be 12 to 15 on him.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think Aaron Rai is by far and away the best play in the field. He won this event last year. His game fits the course to a T. He's just as good, if not better, than every single other golfer in the field, save for maybe, I don't know, Matsuyama. And just like from a pure skill standpoint. So I'm definitely going to be on Aaron Rai a ton. He's in my core. Don't fade Aaron Rai. That would be a mistake. Second, Lucas Glover. We spoke on this. Course is relatively close to where he is from, being a Clemson guy. He's played well here before. He's been good recently, the last, few months. I do love Lucas Glover here. Siwoo Kim is another former winner here who I really want to be over on, especially coming off the missed cut, bit of a flop lag. And this is going to get into what you're talking about. Like, the whole range is good. Like, I want to be over on Matsuyama. I like Robert McIntyre. I think the course fit is strong. Batia, I think people might be down on after that fourth round. Kitayama is obviously crushing. The only guys I really dislike are Harry Hall and Spieth. I'm really not in on Harry Hall and Spieth. Snyder, do you have an alternate opinion there?
You never liked my guy Harry Hall. I just keep riding. I keep riding my guy Harry Hall. 9 straight events, T35 or better. A couple top 10s in that span. He's got the best short game in the field. If this turns into a putting contest, I think he can be right there. He's not my favorite in this range, but I think you can legitimately play potentially 4 guys in this range that we're talking about on a single team. So I think this is a really strong range, like you guys are talking up. So I'll be definitely high on a lot of these guys in here. Akshay finally gained putting last week. Maybe he can kind of flip that. It's been great with the approach play minus last Sunday.
He did fuck us in round 4, though.
Yeah, he was horrible in round 4. But he finally made some putts, though, last week, which is assuring to see. Lucas Glover, like you say, he's from this area, from South Carolina, went to Clemson, like you said. Has played this event 14 times. Has been top 30 in 8 of those 14 trips here. I think he's a great play. Definitely lines up well. The recent history for him is great. I'm going to keep playing my guy Jake Knapp again. 4 straight top 30s for him with a pair of top 5s. Was close to getting another win last week. I think the course could fit his eye here too, because you kind of worry about him kind of spraying the ball off the tee a little bit. But this is a little shorter course. I think he'll be able to club down off the tee and not be forced to just go after it with his driver a lot here. The putter has been really, really good for Knapp too as of late. He's been one of the better putters in the last few fields that he's played in. So I'm going to go right back to Jake Knapp this week again. Kitayama, another strong play. Like you were saying there, I think he's right there. Needs a little more help in the FedEx to kind of boost him up for the rounds going forward. But back-to-back low 60s for him over the weekend. Battled hard to make the cut, and then just goes nuts. Shoots a 60 on Saturday with a bogey, which is pretty crazy. But win top 14, top 5 in his last 3 events. He's getting hot at the right time, so I think we got to keep going with Kitayama there. Who else? Like I said, you were talking about Hideki a little bit before the show, so I was kind of digging into him a little bit. I mean, the approach play has really been ascending for him over these last 4 events. He's hitting his irons a lot better. The putting's been great over the last couple of months. That's kind of trending back upwards as well. So I think Hideki is a great play if he's going to come in, potentially like 10% or something like that. So I like Hideki quite a bit as well. That would be a newer guy that I add into the pool kind of after this show. But Siwoo's always a good GPP play. Missed his last 2 cuts. But, yeah, he's got some good course history here. He missed a cut last year, but I mean that's what Siwoo does. I mean you pay for the volatility with him. He's either gonna boom or he's gonna bust, and that's what you want for in tournaments. So I think Siwoo is always a good guy to have in your player pool. But I think my top plays. Aaron Rye's the best play. Lucas Glover's probably the second, but I'm gonna be overweight on Jake Knapp compared to the field more so than I will the other ones. I think.
I like that. His girl's been talking him up a lot on social media, and he's been doing it for us in recent weeks. If I had known he was only going to be 8% in that Golf World Championship field, I would have hammered it. But I thought he was going to be a lot higher, and I didn't do it, and that was dumb.
The odds loved him, but
the odds loved him, but some of the other sites did not project him very well.
Yeah.
So that's why he ended up low. Next range will go from Adam Scott down to JT Poston. So we'll go from 86 down to 78. Snyder, we'll start with you again. I know your boy Gerard is in this range, and I love him this week. Do you feel similarly about Ryan Gerard?
Yeah, I think we just got to keep plugging away with him. I wish we had some shot tracker from that last event where he won. He had to have gotten hot with the putter finally. I mean, he's been the most atrocious putter on tour, but such an elite ball striker. He had to have finally found something with the putter there. So, yeah, I think we go right back to Gerard this week off the win. I like Max Gracerman. I'm going to go right back to him. He's missed the last 3 cuts, but they've all been right there, either 1 or 2 off the cut line. I think he's a good guy. I think he's a guy I'm going to keep going to. I love the upside that he has here. He was runner-up at this event last year as well, so he's shown the ability to play this course well. So I think he's going to be relatively lower owned. I think he'll probably be like around 13% or something like that maybe, but I'll probably be around there, a little higher on Gracerman. Sung Jae got really good course history here, but I think all 3 of us could hit our irons better than he is right now. So I'll probably be off of Sung Jae. Steven showed that big upside last week, gets another birdie fest here with a solid short game. I think he's a good play as well. I like Nikolai Hogard quite a bit this week. He's been playing really well as of late. He's number 71 right now, so he's sitting right on the bubble. I think he's going to come through pretty big here this week. So I like Nikolai quite a bit. And then JT Poston. I think JT Poston is a really good tournament play this week. He's from North Carolina. He grew up playing these Ross tracks. He's been up or down, but I think the upside is great for him in some GPPs this week. He was T7 here a couple years ago. He's one of those guys that he's kind of like a Siwoo Kim almost, I think. He's got the big upside. So I like JT Poston in tournaments. I don't think many people will be going to him. He'll probably be 3 to 5% or something, so it won't take much to get overweight on him. But I think there's some good options in here. Gerard's probably my favorite just because of the upside. And if he found something with the putter, I think he could really nuke here.
I want to touch on this. This was crazy. I remember that. Denny on the back nine making like fucking 8 birdies in a row. Then he gets to the fucking playoff and just chunks it. That was a fucking wild. That was nuts. But yeah, I'll touch on what I like here. Gerard's number 1 for me, 8,400. Tee to green, he is elite. Motherfucker can't putt for shit, but eventually it'll come. And sometimes all you gotta do is run a little hot there. After him, the polar opposite, Denny McCarthy, 8,100. Do love him just based on the fact that he's significantly better than a lot of people in this range. I also like Sung Jae just for the same logic as Matsuyama. He's priced down now to a point where he's with a bunch of people that are worse than him, like a lot worse than him, like talent-wise. So, I'm going to be buying on him even though it could have heavy downside. After him, best play, JT Poston. You spoke on it. The upside is significant. My original optimal that I was just building a few hours ago had JT Poston in it. I think he is a great play this week. So I love JT Poston there. Bryce, how do you feel?
I kind of dislike this range a little more than you guys, kind of compared to the range above it. I do like Ryan Gerard a lot. I think that Denny is very strong as well. I love playing Denny in kind of not like putting contests like this, but at courses like this. I mean, we saw him do it before. Those are kind of my 2 guys here this week. I'm probably going to be under on like the Scotts and Fowlers of the world. Clanton, Grazerman don't really do it for me. Sungjae Stevens, not really.
That's my guy.
That should be someone's like actual name.
Like a band. That's a band name right there.
Yeah. All right. If they go 1-2, I'll change my DraftKings name to Sungjae Stevens. Yeah. I think that how Snyder mentioned getting like 4 guys in the top range. I think it's like a super strong strategy this week, and I kind of cut that off at Siwoo Kim here at 8,700.
All right, we'll move into the next range, starting with our boy Pearson Coody, who my buddy who is not familiar with golf opened up his app and it listed Pearson Coody as Coody P.I. and he goes, "Who the fuck is Cootie Pie?" So now I will forever think of Pearson Coody as Cootie Pie. So Cootie Pie at 7,700 down to the 7K. Ryo Hisatsune down there at the bottom, 7K. We'll just go through the rest of 7Ks. I'll start with myself here because this is so simple. Christian Bezuidenhout should be like 9,000. It's the dumbest price. It's one of the dumbest prices I've seen since Christian Bezuidenhout last week, which was also one of the dumbest prices I've ever seen. So Christian Bezuidenhout 7,200 is like the absolute, like him and Rye are the best plays on the board by a mile. After him, we're looking at, let's see here. Austin Eckroat, 7,100. Love the guys that can hit it straight. Austin Eckroat has won at courses that are very similar, but in Florida. So I'm definitely in on Austin Eckroat. After him, other guys that are elite off the tee: Jackson Koivoon, 7,400. Andrew Novak, 7,300. Rico Hoey, 7,300. And then going up a little bit, Davis Thompson at 7,600, a noted friend of the program on the regular. I do like him. I do not think you want to play guys like Tony Finau, Thorbjorn Olesen, Michael Kim, Jesper Svensson. I would toss them in the garbage. Bryce, how do you feel?
I mean, did someone like misclick Bezadenhout's price this week? Like,
him and Aaron Rai. I don't get it.
I mean, right. Yeah. I mean, it's like 1K off. Like, this is like, I mean, Bezadenhout could be what, like the 10th highest priced golfer, and it would be like totally fine. I mean, he should be like 9,200. You don't normally get missed prices like this outside of majors. Like, majors are kind of really the only
because they price it 2 weeks ahead.
Yeah. Guys that are kind of this far off. So I said it was a week to get weird, but I'm hammering Bezadenhout. We can get weird elsewhere. Guys, I like in this range. I like the JT Poston call a good amount. I think he's very solid. I'm not going to mention everyone here. So much of my ownership goes to Bezadenhout at 7,200. Davis Thompson at 7,600, I think, is very strong. Jackson Koivoon, 7,400. Alex Noren, 72. Novak, 73. Nico Echeverria, 72. Eckroat, 71. I have in my pool all in double-digit ownership. Other guys that kind of hit that mark for me, but I don't get double digits on: Mitchell, Tom Kim, Thorbjorn Olesen, Matt Wallace, Michael Thorbjornsen. Fuck him, but I'm not cutting him just yet. Scam Young and Griot, and that's pretty much my pool in the range. Oh, and Nikolai Højgaard.
I'm gonna answer a question real quick. Any love for Griot? Yeah, I do like Griot a fair bit. I just mentioned Davis Thompson because I like him better right up there. But the next best play in that little segment is definitely him. Snyder, how are we feeling?
Yeah, I'm pretty much right there with you guys. I mean, don't really have to say much about Bez. I think they just got lazy and just, I don't know what.
Like Mattia last week.
Yeah, for sure. I like Pearson Coody quite a bit. I just love the birdie upside that he has. Going back to the Corn Ferry, I know some of these have been Corn Ferry events, but 5 of his last 8 events he's played, he's made at least 23 birdies. So he's got that big birdie upside. He can get the putter going. He's gaining nearly a stroke putting over his last 36 rounds. So I like the upside that Coody has off of the close call last week, T3 last week at the 3M. So I think he's a pretty solid play. I worry about my guy Thor Bjornsson. I choked last week, and you just dig into it a little bit. It looks like the irons are going away from him.
It wasn't just choking. He started flubbing chips because he was mad.
Right. In the last 2 events he's played, the approach play has just really went away from him. So I'm kind of worried that he's kind of got some stuff going on there. So I'll probably be underweight. I may have him in a team or two just because he's one of my guys, but definitely not a guy I'm going to be getting too crazy on. I like the upside that Davis Thompson has, like you guys say, T12, T22, his last 2 trips here. So I think he's a solid play. Emiliano Grillo, I like the upside there. I think Bud Colley is going to get some – I've heard some people mention his name. If he gets any steam, I could fade that pretty easily, I think. His game's kind of going downward compared to what it was earlier this year when we were playing him about every week. So I'm kind of getting off of him these last few weeks. So I'll continue to be there. I think Keith Mitchell has some upside for tournaments. He was T12 here last year. He's got some upside, more so maybe for the first round leader markets. He goes out early round 1, so he's always kind of up there if he goes out early in day ones. It seems this Jackson Coy Vaughn, he's been T6, T11, really good short game player, elite putter. He's a amateur from Auburn. I just think he's a good play in this event. He was good at the John Deere. He was good at the ESCO. I mean, the putter kind of carries his game. I mean, he gained 4 strokes approach at the ESCO, lost 5 strokes approach at the John Deere. So you never really know what you're going to get from the approach standpoint from him. But the short game is really good for him. So I like the upside he's got there. I think Andrew Novak's a good upside play. What else do I got here? Ryan Fox's game has been trending downhill, so I'll be off of him. Jesper Svensson's got some upside, T14, T16 his last 2 events. I think he's fine. Noren, I kind of like Noren. Noren's getting some love in the matchup markets as well, so I'll have some Noren in the player pool. Nico Echeverria, he's got really good odds for his price tag, so I think he's solid. And then Putnam. I'll go back to Putnam this week. He burned everyone last week, but I think he's got the type of short game needed here. If he can just – he's good at hitting fairways. I mean, he's hitting fairways at 74% clip. He's one of the best. I think he's second best in the field as far as hitting fairways off the tee. He hit 70% of his greens. He just needs to get some putts to fall. I think he's fine going back to off the flop leg. Eckroat's definitely got some big upside. He was 6th here last year. And then another guy I like is Bill Mao. I think he's another guy. He was 67 or he shot 67 or better all 4 rounds last week. 20 birdies and 21 birdies in his last 2 events. So I think he's got some upside with back-to-back top 10s. He won the ISCO and then was T7 at the 3M. I think he's got some upside. And then Kevin Roy at 7K. He's been a really good cut maker. He's been consistently in the top 40. Had a good stretch there where he was T3 at the John Deere and T8 at the Rocket Classic. So he's got some upside in some of these weaker type field events that are birdie fest. So I like him at the bottom of the 7K range.
All right, we'll move on to the hold on, Bob. What the fuck? Who are you talking about, dude? Say his fucking name. Don't give me these fucking weird acronyms and shit. We'll talk about the shitters from 6,900 to the bottom. I'll start with myself just because I want to touch on why I'm so low on a lot of these guys. I think there's you could pretty much make a case to play any almost any of them. Like in a normal tournament, Eric Van Rooyen at 131 or whatever he is like an elite play. But in this tournament, where the favorite's only plus 2,000, you really don't need to go there. The vast majority of your lineups, somebody like Eckroat is going to be the cheapest guy. You don't have to get down here. So I'm not playing this range a ton, despite the plays maybe being okay. You shouldn't be doing it unless you're triple 9King or playing Ben Griffin with Fitzpatrick, that kind of thing. So these guys are just not filling out my pool the way they normally would. With that said, and there's an egregious misprice at 6,300. Ben Silverman, he's 110 to 1 on Pinnacle, and he's 6,300. So you can basically fit whatever the fuck you want in with him. So I'm playing Ben Silverman a significant amount. After him, Victor Perez at 6,900. Yes, if you want to bet the 400 to 1 in DraftKings, that is there, but at a much sharper book. It is 110 to 1.
There's also a 500 to 1 available.
There is also a 500 to 1 available.
I let Mark talk me into this earlier. So go Ben Silverman.
Victor Perez at 6,900 has been playing very well recently. So definitely in on Victor Perez. After him, Doug Gim is heavily underpriced. So I have a good amount of Doug Gim. Matt McCarty, who the hell is Matt McCarty? At 6,800, definitely playing him. And then Eric Van Rooyen and Ben Coles at 6,700. I will have them quite a bit. Mitch.
Yeah, I think there's a few guys in here. Ben Silverman, definitely, as you alluded to earlier, you got me onto him as well. Victor Perez, I think, is a pretty strong option here. He's been really good with the approach play. the putter has definitely been boom or bust for him. So if you can get Victor Perez with the good irons in one of those boom events where he hits the putter for 4 strokes gained putting, I think he could definitely be there. He's got the ability to lose 4 strokes putting though as well. I think he's solid for what you get down here. I always like to sprinkle in some Matt McCarty. I think Ben Coles is another one of those guys. Really good approach player. The putter is just not good for him, but he can if he can catch a spike putting week, he could definitely be there. He was T20 at the 3M and he lost 4 strokes putting. So if he can putt to a 0, he could, top 10 easily. Hasn't gained with the flat stick since like March, I think, but he's a good upside play. I think Nate Lashley, my Nebraska guy, 6,700. I think he could top 30 again. 3 straight top 30s, I believe, for Lashley. He lost with the putter last week. He's usually a pretty good putter as well. Another guy down here, Goodwin. I played Goodwin in my in round 4 showdown. He was clutch for me there.
Yeah, he killed me in that, dude. They had that 20K one at the final, and everybody had Noah Goodwin. I did not have I played Brendan Valdez, though. That helped me, but no, Goodwin fucked.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he was really good with the irons last week. I think he can maybe carry that over. He had a decent finish at the Canadian Open where he was top 20 as well and carried that over into a Corn Ferry event. So maybe Goodwin can kind of carry that over this week. But I think that the main targets down here is Silverman and Perez, and that's about it. I think you could maybe play Jackson Suber as well too. He was T7 at the Barracuda, T6 at the Rocket Classic, T18 in the Canadian Open, but missed the cut last week. I think he's worth having in the pool down here if you want. And Joel Dahlman's from the area. He's made 2 straight cuts. You could throw him in if you want. But nothing is really jumping out too much at me here. Mateo's in the field again, but he's off of a couple of missed cuts overseas. But he was T6 at the Canadian Open. I think he's got upside for here as well.
Bryce.
I let Mark talk me into Silverman, so he's kind of my guy down here. Other players that I do like. Victor Perez, Lee Hodges, Doug Gim, Norgard Muller, McGreevy, McCarty, Ben Coles, EVR, and Joe Heisman, I think, are the other guys that made my pool. Not a range I'm going super heavy on. As Mark said, there's no Scotty Scheffler to pay up for this week. There's just not many teams that are going to go below 7,200 for me. So yeah, I think Silverman would be it if you're doing it. You can play the advantage to Silverman over some of these other guys, I think, is if you play a guy that's cheap, you can get 4 of the 9Ks, or 4 of the high 8s, low 9s type of build. So that's kind of the only. I played single entry this week. That was kind of my strategy there. Don't love the range as a whole though. In a cash game setting, Bays would be the cheapest I would go. But go Ben Silverman. It's not often you see quite a big discrepancy between Penny and some of these other books. Even if it's 100 to 1 compared to 200 to 1, that can just be personal preference on some guys. But this seems like a coordinated or not coordinated thing, but someone sent him a penny. So, yeah.
All right. We'll get into everybody's favorite segment of the week. Snyder, can you help me out with the screen so it doesn't look dumb?
Yeah, let me get it here. Media, bang. There we go.
All right. We'll go right back to you, Mitch. What you got?
I'm going to start it off with Jake Knapp, better than 37.5.
Price.
Do we have a Ben Silverman here? No, we do not. I was hoping
I wish we could get the whole.
I was hoping that we could get him. Yeah, the holes completed for him. I think there's some decent made cuts here that are actually at more. I was hoping that he would be one of them.
Oh, this is good. I'm gonna do that. I'll cut.
All right, do you have one?
Wait, go ahead.
I'm gonna take. Who did I like here? Bobby Mack to make the cut. 0.7.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy that we're getting 0.7 on a lot of these guys at the top.
Yeah, I mean, he should. I mean, he's what, like minus what? I haven't even looked at it, but like 300 off the top of my head or something like that.
I'm going Eckroat to make the cut. Mitch.
Let's go. Let's go with Zayden Hoot to make the cut.
How much further down I gotta go?
0.7, I think, for him.
Yeah, I'm saying how much for. Oh, it's 0.7. He's
right there.
Okay, going too far.
I think he just scrolled past him. Go down.
There we go.
Yeah.
And then Lucas. All right. We'll go with 1,000 to win at least 3-1.
A lot of 0.7s, but I mean, some of these odds to make the cut this week compared.
Yeah,
to
you're getting some favorable. All right. We got that. There's the pick 6. And we'll touch on our favorite bets, starting with Mitch. What's your favorite future bet for this tournament?
I like Victor Perez, first round leader, 80-1.
Bryce.
Ben Silverman, 500-1.
Love it. I like Aaron Rye at 28-1.
If Ben Silverman wins this tournament, we're doing a big giveaway.
Yes.
On this show next week.
All right. For Mitch, for Bryce. See you guys later.